Alright. What the hell is going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we are going to be delving into how the hell to beat these guys down here, the Protoss players. And you know why? This is Liquid CLEM. And CLEM is the one player who kind of makes Protoss look not very good quite regularly when he's playing Terran from the other side of the matchup. But when he's playing the Protoss side, it's really hard to beat him, unless you are one of the best Terrans in the world. But recently we've had a bunch of really interesting matchups. Especially BYUN has brought out some really nice twists. It's not like his builds are revolutionary, but there are these little details to his TVP builds that have been absolutely exceptional. I mean, we are talking about BYUN just having these... A few weeks ago, it was the 3 racks. It was his little adjustment where he'd open Marauders, but not only Marauders, he would get a very early stim and like 4 Marauders out, and he would actually push across the map before Blink was done, catch... Excuse me, apparently I'm allergic to talking about TVP strategies because I just had to do a big sneeze there. Sorry, just had to mute myself. So he would catch the Stalkers moving out on the map just before Blink is done, kill a bunch of them, and completely take the wind out of the sails of the standard Blink builds. And then if the Blink player played safe and turtles against it, then he goes and hides a bunch of Marines and Marauders on the side of the map. When the Protoss player finally moves out, guess what? You've got a ton of bio that could either stim in from behind or counterattack into your base at any time. So there's been a lot of really cool things that BYUN has just been adding to his play recently. And I really wanted to study his TVP because this week we saw him actually do really well against a few top Protoss players in my weekly cup. And then someone in the comments had said, oh, is BYUN doing his like sick TVP again? And I was like, And I've checked the results recently, and BYUN's had a lot of banger matches, and it's not like he's winning all of these, but we're going to take a look at a few series today from some of these weekly cups, because he's been playing... As he goes, no! Clem gets the probe out of there. BYUN always there with a bit of banter, isn't he? I love me some BYUN, man. But yeah, BYUN's, he's one of these guys where he will find these nice little twists to get advantages against the Clems, the Maxes, the heroes, like the very best PvT players in the world. So we've got a series of him against each of these guys, and we're going to be studying his build orders. Now, this one's been very chilled, very contained. It's a no scout, 1 Rax expand, Marine first. I have been noticing this, a lot of skipping the Reaper lately, and I think this is a mixture of often people are walling off the ledge, so the Reaper can't get in. Even if you do get the Reaper in, Protoss players are playing so safe, so defensive, it's not really finding much damage. And that is definitely an entire thing. Command center, going for the orbital in the top side there. We've got this gateway coming up. Ooh, gonna hallucinate a Phoenix and send it forwards. Okay, so Clem's gonna play the super safe opening. This does delay the Twilight Council a little bit, not massively, but a little bit. Wants to see what's going on. And BYUN's just going Widow Mines. All right, so this is about as chill as it goes, right? 2 Widow Mine drop probably. Could bring Marines with it. Unlikely, that's not really his flavor. Usually he'll just go for 2 mines on their own. And that's a rather generic way of opening. Now, I would say it looks like this opening game is just going to be him kind of chilling out and saying, hey, you're going to play safe. I'm going to go in. My question is, how much does he commit to the medevac drop? Does he actually dive in if he sees a few Stalkers, or does he wait until Clem is active on the map? Because I think there's a real power to just pinning him at home with a Widow Mine drop and not overcommitting. Going to boost forwards across the map. Starport and Factory swap around Cloak Banshee's been very popular recently, but this will be Raven. And you can see he's got this second barracks. Often you want to build your second and third barracks and then swap those onto these tech labs once you're done building Ravens and siege tanks. So often this barracks goes here first, and then you'll build 2 siege tanks and then swap the barracks over there. And that just times out very nicely. Then you can go engineering bay, 3rd and 4th gas, all the good things. He's going to commit on in 2 Stalkers in a sentry, and he just goes for a very passive Widow Mine drop. Clem is famous for pulling his probes to attack the actual Widow Mine and stop it from burrowing. Look at this, guys. He's got 1 Widow Mine, finally fires, gets 2 probes on the right side after doing a bit of burrow, micro. The Widow Mine here retargeting. You cannot give a guy like BYUN more than 1 target, or he will usually retarget for a bit longer than that. But nonetheless, 3 probes and done. BYUN's going to chill out there. He's got the Raven coming out. Surely the 3rd barracks is going to build. Who the hell is building the 3rd barracks? Is it the same guy that built the 2nd barracks? Oh, that's cute. BYUN being really efficient here, making sure he doesn't have to pull a new worker. Because he figures, well, it doesn't need to be done until this siege tank's finished anyway, so it shouldn't delay it too long. As I'm saying that, I'm kind of like, I think that's still going to delay it like a good 10 seconds. I don't know. I would have pulled one off minerals in the main, but didn't want to mess up his mining. Raven goes down that right side. Did you guys hear the Windows noise, by the way? Sorry, I just unplugged my mouse. I hope that doesn't derp you too badly. Ooh, siege tanker marines are there. Ooh, watch out. All right, Raven's going to come in. There's a shield battery. He should not throw down auto turrets. And since there's one on the natural as well, he should actually try to get down behind the third, and that will be the target. And if there's a battery there or plenty of stalkers, then he just waits, and then he can drop 2 to 3 later. Stalkers come forward. He hasn't killed anything except that... Oh, the medevac did go down. Wait, did he just lose his medevac to these stalkers? Oh, the stalkers must have got his medevac. Must have been a bit too close to the front there. BYUN's going to push right now. This is not the most serious push. It's a bit crazy for him to keep pushing right now. He should stop and siege up or run away. BYUN going crazy right now. He's going to go for double auto turrets behind the natural. They will kill a stalker, but no, the stalker blinks away. Looks like only 1 probe went down as well, or 2 actually. The marines and tanks come forward. This is a crazy push. He's pushing just before his upgrades are done, but that also finds a window where charge isn't ready for the Protoss. So this is either a genius move or it's I'm going to throw my whole army away before my upgrades move. It's either the perfect time or it's an anti-timing. This is the sort of high-risk StarCraft that makes it really hard for Protoss to know exactly how to deal with this, because you're pushing at a time that does not make sense on paper, but because it doesn't make sense, Protoss is not ready for it. And I think this ended up being a very good defense by CLEM, who has been able to stop this. Stim shields +1 is almost ready. Still on 55 probes, third base. Raven still chilling there. Oh, got to be careful. And the stalkers will blink away. No concussive shells for BYUN in this game. Another auto turret from the high ground. Raven, of course, gets itself 2 more kills, not to mention the mining time, which is quite lovely. Observer comes in, third command center has been spotted. There's +1 weapons almost there, and a 4th and 5th barracks will go down with SCVs from the natural since that base was oversaturated. Colossus starts. Extended thermal lance is on the way. We've got 3 more gateways building, so it's going to be 6-gate Colossus. I think Clem's mostly out of the woods in this game. I think that was not a good enough fight for BYUN. Yeah, he traded 200 resources better. He got a few stalker kills, but really what you're looking for when you're trading as Terran is you want to clear stalkers, sentries, and models of the tech units. The zealots, they don't really matter, right? That's not going to be the unit you want. And oh, he scans, but he doesn't quite get the observer. Oh, that hurts. That really does hurt. Raven's thinking about going in there, but he's got to just chill on that. And the 4th and 5th barracks going to come up. Probably goes 2 tech labs, but he might go 1 tech lab, 1 reactor. Now, the thought process behind your add-ons is you always want to go for more tech labs if you're worried about the splash damage, just butchering your units. Problem is, if it's very zealot heavy from Terran, having more marines does help you actually kill those zealots a lot quicker. Marauders can stutter step for a while, but they won't actually destroy the zealots. They won't get through them quickly enough without the marines backing them up. That's why we do see the more classic 1 tech lab, 1 reactor. The more old school way of doing it. I think it was back many years ago when Uthermal was just doing his Terran School videos, where he was a big fan of the 4 tech labs. Just because he felt like, hey, I'm going to stim my bio in and Colossus or Storm's going to shred the Marines instantly. I'd rather just have more Marauders and Ghosts. Try to make up for the anti-zealot damage maybe with a few more Widow Mines or something like that, which I think is a fair call. The Zealots, talk about weaving their way through there. Can he get the tank? He's going to commit all the Zealots to the tank, but that means he doesn't get any SCVs. And as much as losing a tank is a little bit annoying, I think you're fine to trade that for 6 Zealots. Yeah, as much as I say you don't care about Zealots, I also don't think you care about siege tanks that much at this point, but actually he is still building siege tanks and getting vehicle weapons. Whoa! Like I said, I thought CLEM was out of the woods. I thought CLEM was in a really good spot in this game. But BYUN is actually playing fascinatingly. He's going for non-stop tank production. So he's going to use tanks and Vikings to deal with the Colossus. Now, tanks are great because they have 13 range, Colossus only 9 range. Problem, they're really immobile. They're very weak to Zealots getting on top of them. They don't do much damage at all to Zealots or Archons because they do 40 damage regular. They do 70 versus armored units. So if the tanks are shooting Stalkers, Immortals, or Colossus, that's where they're really valuable. The Observer finally gets scanned and taken down. Sensor Tower will be falling. Viking goes forward, pushes him back. 4th Command Center's on the way as well. I remember, who was it who came up with a... There was a player who came up with a really sick siege tank push that Special ended up copying in GSL like 6 years ago, something like that. Does anyone remember this? He played against Stats on one of those Cloud Kingdom style maps. And he almost beat him, but Stat's got this amazing surround on the big build. That was a 2-factory tank push. That was like an actual timing attack siege tank build. I remember it was like an NA ladder Terran who was like a really good mech player who came up with this push and kind of gave the build to Special, and Special almost beat Stats with it, which is a huge upset. This is not that style. This is just, I'm going to make extra tanks to make sure I don't die and try to get to the standard late game, which is fair enough. Sensor Tower gets sniped again. Sensor Towers are cheaper now, so it's not too bad. What's up, guys? For those of you just tuning in live, this is the best games of StarCraft Day. This day, every week, we do a wrap-up of the best games of the last week. I'm just going to do a mini show today focusing on TVP, because I think there's some really fascinating new builds from BYUN and a few other players. So, as always, these games are not live. They're always a highlight matches from the previous week or two. Big attack here. Crazy attack for CLEM. Colossus kind of attacking around the corner, but he shoves in. He has a massive Stalker count. He's got a lot of sentries as well. Oh my god, can he just focus the command center? I think he can. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he waited a bit too long. But really brilliant fight there for CLEM. Just shaving off those units. He just kind of saw that BYUN was a little bit exposed and gets in there. BYUN's like right now up 1 attack upgrade over the armor, but he's lost 5 siege tanks. And that moment of inattention there, I mean, it's the Sensor Tower gets sniped. He realizes, hey, he doesn't know where I'm coming from because of that. And he shoves in there. Clem's going to go with Zealots from the left as well. He's hoping to get on top of these tanks. He wants the Bio to pull up here and the Zealots to get on the tanks. The Zealots get distracted by Widowmine Depot. The army on the right side pulls away. Does blink forward for a Viking. Loses 1 or 2 Stalkers for it, though. But Clem's mass expanding. Now, 3+3 weapons is on the way, so it's 2-2s done for both sides. Clem has not started 3-3. He's trying to finish BYUN right now. He doesn't want to let this go any longer because he knows the late game is Terran favored. But right now, Terran's fragile. Protoss has a bit more money in the bank. He's got 10 gateways. He's got double Nexus coming up. It's going to be hard to deal with this sort of attack. It's a shame he sends this in isolation, though, I got to say. A little bit critical of that. The fact that his main army is so far behind that it's only going in now. And he's attacking around the corner again. Clem keeps attacking around this corner, very sloppy, gets EMP'd on all of the sentries, lands a good disruptor shot, but he's got to be a bit more careful here. Luckily for him, no Viking went to the corner. The Prism is still alive there. Zealots come in on the left, not able to get in. BYUN's job here is to just hang on, guys. It's to survive. But the problem for him is he's only got 5 Vikings against 4 Colossus, and there's disruptors in the mix, but there's no Zealots on this right side, which means there's very little meat and potatoes guarding this army. He's got to go forwards now and punish, but the Marines and Marauders, you can see how they clumped up as they chased a bit too far, and they get absolutely hammered. I think Clem just had too good of a position here in this game. BYUN was trying to build a few extra tanks, get to the later stage, didn't quite have the setup to get there, and Clem is going to take game 1. All right, guys, Clem in the bottom left side of the map, looking pretty good. BYUN played very normal last game, but he's on Tourmaline. We know what Tourmaline is. It's Marauder time. You know it's Marauder into 3 racks, right? He's done this game, this build almost every game on this map recently. Let's see if he does it again. One thing I'm very critical of BYUN of is the fact that he gets a build for a map, he likes it there, and then he does it repeatedly. Think of the most recent meme of this. If we go back to the previous map pool a year ago, ley lines. Every single game on ley lines, BYUN would engineering bay block. And it became such a meme where I was like, how are you guys not ready for this? Do these guys, like, you guys play against BYUN 3-4 tournaments a week, you still don't know he does this build every game. Give it another week or two. If he keeps doing that build on this map, I will start making fun of Protoss players for not being ready for the 3 racks here as well. We'll see. It is going to be a gate scout. He's going to go, it looks like probably Cybercore on the ledge there to block the Reaper from jumping in. I'm so interested. Just the little details BYUN's been adding. Even that last game felt like he should have actually been safe, but there's always that moment when you're moving out to take your expansion when Terran is the weakest. That's one of those things. If you guys aren't confident breaking a Terran player when they're fully set up, commit to your army, get your army ready, and scout ahead and wait until they move out to take the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th or whatever it is. And when their army's like unsieging and moving out, that's when you dive on them, because Terran tends to have a lot less vision than the other 2 races. And that's like one of the things which Clem did excellently there, because he's a Terran player, right? He understands the weakness. Now, interesting is, it's not a Marauder opening. This is awesome. BYUN mixing it up. I love it. I really feel like if BYUN keeps doing that 3x build, but does it on different maps, White Rabbit is another map where he does like to do it a fair bit as well. I think it's good to mix things up and rotate your build orders, and surprise is such a big part of StarCraft. So he's going to go Factory, Second Gas, and then Reactor. He will need a bunker up here, usually no later than 220. You want to start that bunker, but since he got a quick command center, actually, his command center was not that fast, was it? No, it was not. That went down at 141. So if there was an early adapt off of Cybercore first, I think it could actually deny this. So BYUN's playing incredibly risky. He's playing incredibly risky. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot more Stalker, Sentry first. There's a lot more Nexus before Cybercore these days, which I think this was a Nexus before Cybercore. But he didn't know that. He didn't scout. So BYUN is basically just saying, hey, if an Adept came in, it would have killed this SCV. I'd have no way of defending it. And then I just have to wait for these 2 Marines and this Hellion to come out and then pull another SCV and finish the command center. Just frustrating, but it's part of the baked in just a little bit of gambling that BYUN's doing. And I think a little bit of gambling is generally a good thing in StarCraft. It's not always a bad thing. You know, I remember early days of Wings of Liberty when I was getting competitive, practicing. And I always tell this story because it was kind of a moment where the light bulb switched on, where I was playing a Terran player, YJ, good old Yun, Terran player from my city who was quite good. And he was a massive gambler. And I remember I was playing customs with him. And I looked at the replay after he rolled me in this game. I was like, dude, you went 3 command center before barracks. What the hell? I'm like, that's so stupidly greedy. Like, can you play seriously? And he's like, it's only greedy if you punish it. And I was like, no, but like seriously, like no one's gonna do that in a game. And he's like, yeah, but like you're not, like his point was just like, you're not doing anything about it though. Like you gotta either scout and shut it down or do some sort of built-in pressure that punishes this stuff, or your opponent can literally do anything they want. And I remember just being like, my brain was kind of malfunctioning. I was like, but that's an illegal move. You can't do that. No one does that thing. And he was such a loose player. He would just do whatever the hell, you know, he wanted, and he would adapt very, very fluidly on the fly. He wasn't a guy who was trying to hedge his bets. He was a massive gambler, and he liked to try and get away with what he could. And it was kind of cool to hear his explanation of that and remind myself that, hey, anything goes in StarCraft, and your job is always to show why a build is bad, not to just from the sidelines go, that's stupid, you're playing greedy. Why are you being greedy? Clem? Clem, are we gonna... Do you guys see that? Clem just started attacking his own pylon there. A little bit of panic there, maybe a bit of over-multitasking. His Adept does get inside the main base and does take down 1 SCV before it goes down. Spots the Raven. Hellion denies the 3rd. Nice move there for BYUN. Pig lost to 3cc before barracks. Now I feel better. Well, you guys know who the biggest gambler was. It was Marine King Prime, man. Back when I remember living in the Prime house and like playing against him in a qualifier for something. And I just knew every game was proxy barracks or something else. So hold on. This Marine drop's actually doing a lot more damage. BYUN, he's on hold position. He's not microing this at all. He's on hold position, guys. He's literally looked at home. Because he figured, now he's target fired the probes. You see he was shooting the gas for most of that time. So hold position means they'll just shoot whatever's in range. So if there were workers in range, he'd target them instead of going after the stalkers. The moment the probes pulled back though, that hold position was not helping him out at all. So a little bit of lazy control for BYUN, but I guess he had other things to look at. BYUN is not the multitasking beast like Clem. He's a micro beast, but he's not as good at switching locations and tasks the way Clem is. Tank's well positioned, but look at this. Clem's rotating around the left side. We'll tell that Marine King story a bit later. Oh, Stalkers do take out a few SCVs. He's going to pull away. Okay, good Viking. Losing a few SCVs there is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, so I remember I went 10 pull Baneling bust. This was Wings of Liberty and just killed him. And I remember he was like watching the replay after and he's just like, what the hell is, like, what? And he was just like, what the fuck is this build? And like he's watching it with one of the other guys and I was just laughing and I was like, dude, you 3 command center like every second game, dude. Like you never, and you literally never scout unless it's with proxy barracks. This hard counters proxy barracks because I'm going 1 base Ling Bane, and it also hard counters a guy going blind 3cc, and those are the only 2 openings you do in this matchup. And I was trying to, like, you know, kind of pass that lesson on to Marine King. I was like, dude, you can't just do this every game. Like, the whole point of going between extremes is that it's hard for your opponent to counter both of them with 1 build. But basically, Zergs just weren't willing to do a 1 base Ling Bane because it's bad against Terran. Thing is, it was a free win against Marine King at the Prime, and Marine King at the time. Marine King Prime at the time. Oh, he does get the Stalker. Nice move by BYUN. Saves the Raven, gets the Stalker, gets a lot of lost mining time. Raven gets in. Point being, essentially what I'm trying to introduce to you guys is metagaming. You know, it's all about if you know your opponent always plays within a certain range, you can punish them. And I think BYUN just had a sense that Clem has changed his style recently, gone away from the early adept pressure that he used to do every single game. Him, Max Hero, every game used to be early adept. And BYUN seems to have adapted his opening for that in this game. Got away with a nice greedy start. Yes, he's lost a few more units, but it's not too bad, the trading overall, right? He's caused some distraction, some damage. He's slowed him down. Problem is, now there's Colossus out. BYUN needs to get something done with this. He's got stim, shields, and double upgrades. Now, you might wonder, why did he go double upgrades, guys? This is a cool build order. It's called, I think he accidentally went double eBay. There's no other reason I can come up with for him having gone double upgrades. It makes no sense. +1 armor is not a very high value upgrade for infantry. In this situation, I honestly, my explanation, I heard BYUN had some really cool builds recently. I saw some really cool builds in his other series. People were telling me you got to watch his games from this tournament as well. I think this one is honestly him being drunk. I don't think 1-1 upgrades is a good idea with an SCV pull here, but who knows? I mean, it makes the SCVs tankier against the Zealots, maybe? The tanks are getting in deep. Clem messes up, lets him get really far forward. Clem lets him get a forward siege up. You notice the tanks are targeting the Colossus. The bio is there. The SCVs get shredded, though. The SCVs get shredded. Oh, that tank shot could be big, but he doesn't quite get in range of the Colossus. And now the bio is trying to shove forward. He wants the Colossus. Oh, the Prism pickups. Dude, Clem's Prism pickups are absolutely brilliant. One more Zealot warp in might end up saving the day. Remember, he's pulled all of his SCVs. BYUN is super duper roll in. The Marauders go after the Colossus. Oh, he's not juggling quick enough. Okay, he saves one of them, but he almost loses the second one. And there's no more firepower behind this. Clem has to pull back to his natural. His Colossus is one shot from death. There's no more batteries to heal it. There's still 2 tanks over there. Tank tries to get jumped on, but the Zealots will go down, trying to drop the Colossus. So dangerous. Any tank shot landing could murder his Colossus right now, and the tanks are getting incredibly deep. He wants to shoot the Colossus onto the siege tank. He can't quite get it. Clem's Colossus goes down, and the bio gets in there. And is this a genius build for BYUN? Okay, guys, so we've just spent about 10-15 minutes analyzing and trying to go, why the hell did BYUN go +1 armor? Now, we've ruled out that this was meant to be a surprise to trick him into thinking you're playing a macro build, because he built these in front of the Stalker drop, which you'd think is, oh, look, I'm totally tricking you. But the Stalker drop had just seen that he'd opened 3 barracks, so there was no tricking him that you're going for a fast 3rd command center. You could maybe convince him that you're going 3rd command center after that. Maybe there was a mind game there inherent to it, but it's definitely not a very clear mind game. It's not a massive mind game. Now, in terms of breakpoints, what does +1 armor give you? Well, the problem is, if your opponent doesn't go an early forge, if you're playing like Hero or someone who regularly doesn't go early forge, the +1 armor can actually change quite a few interactions so that Zealots take 1 more hit to kill your Marines and SCVs. So that a Colossus and a Zealot hit doesn't kill your Marine or SCV. It leaves it on 1 hit point when those are combined as well. So +1 armor is genuinely decent in those situations. Problem, Clem almost always plays the European style with the early forge, the early +1, the max pack style. So the +1 armor ends up having very little to marginal usefulness. Yeah, it'll help your Marauders a bit. You've only got a few Marauders with this push. The bigger thing, and the reason why +1 armor isn't usually a good thing to go here, and why I'm very critical of BYUN's choice to do this, despite it working out in this game, is because you are Terran. You are a glass cannon army. It is about high damage, kill your opponent before you get killed. And therefore, getting an upgrade that adds survivability to your army only gives very marginal gains. Now, don't get me wrong, +1 armor helps the SCVs, helps the Marines. If you're playing a Protoss player who doesn't have much splash damage yet and is very Zealot reliant, the +1 armor, I think, will help a lot with the SCVs body blocking, the medevac ceiling, and the Marines just get that extra bit of time, survive on extra themselves to gun down the Zealots. Problem, you're dealing with multiple Colossus in here. I mean, this is just not a push that should be working. But Clem made a massive, massive mistake. And let me talk about why it worked, because I do think the +1 armor is a bit of a drunk build for BYUN. Clem slows the push down out here brilliantly, forces the siege up. All he needs to do right now as Clem is sit here and slow down the advance while buying time for extended thermalats, which is about 58 seconds away. You chrono boost that, it becomes 48 seconds. +1's almost done, and warp in as many Zealots as possible, right? All you need to do, got another pylon coming in already, just build Zealots. Just build Zealots. Maybe send your Zealots around so that once he shuffles his tanks forward to here, your Zealots are already cutting in from behind and cutting off his reinforcement. But essentially what you want to do with this army is just force him to siege, slow down the army. Clem here makes a massive mistake in that he's chilling, and then he thinks, oh, have you gone to the other side? And he just pulls back. He's just giving up ground for free. Even if you just sacrifice the Zealot here to see if he's moving forward, you need to do that. But Clem sends the Zealot forward a tiny bit, and then immediately F2s it back to his army, and he just lets BYUN take position for free. That is a massive blunder. I do not think he realized he pulled that Zealot back. He's scouting on the other side with the 2 Zealot run by, wondering. He didn't think this was an all-in. I don't think he'd even seen the SCVs. And he lets BYUN so far forward for no good reason. He also queues up a couple more probes in the midst of this, just showing how little he appreciated the power of this push. So he could have forced those tanks to siege once or twice more, maybe baited another stim out of BYUN, and then he would have been in an amazing position. Instead, he's mega clumped up for the tank volleys, which are already shooting his Colossus Stalker Sentry, and he just lets BYUN so far forward. It's a very bad defense for Clem. BYUN, I like parts of the build. I like the greed at the start. I think the Raven did a great job harassing, but I think this final push with the double upgrades, a little bit of a lucky win here. I'm not going to say this is an amazing play for BYUN. I'd say winning a map off Clem is great, but let's go see what happens in game 3, because people have been telling me BYUN's builds have been amazing recently. So far in these 2 games, they've been okay. All right, guys. BYUN in the bottom right side of the map. Clem in the top left. And we're going to see an early SCV. Looks like an engineering bay block for BYUN to try and disrupt Clem's opening. He's been really good with his eBay block openings recently, but I do think Clem dropped the ball in that last game. I think this could be a 2-0 for Clem. And so far, the news of BYUN's builds being amazing and meta-breaking, I think he looks pretty good, but not quite good enough to be beating the Clems, the Heroes, the Max Paxes of this world. So he's got a chance here. Clem letting him take position on Tourmaline was a bit of a silly mistake for him. But, oh, the eBay block gets scouted straight away. This hurts. Because the SCV is going to lose hit points so quickly, you only get the eBay, like, you'll be lucky to get it half built. Yeah, he's not. He's going to get it built like 20%. So those 3 probes will get it down really fast. Now, Clem's just going to go Cybercore before Nexus, I believe, here. Only pulling 3 probes is not enough if you plan to do a different way. But yeah, he's going to go for it at Adept forwards. And BYUN will have to go high ground commands. And now BYUN's pulled workers off gas. Oh, okay, so he goes reactor. Just enough gas for the reactor first. eBay gets cancelled. Command center on the high ground will go up in a moment when he gets 400 minerals. Does feel like a better stuff. No, you're not going to build that on the natural. That would be a crazy person strategy. Okay, BYUN right now is insane. I guess. I mean, reactor. I mean, you do get a ledge out here. Can he get 4 Marines out before the Adept's ready? I think he can actually. Because he's pulled off gas, it's okay. Yeah, because he's pulled off gas, he can basically just he has to non-stop make 4 Marines now, and then he'll have 4 Marines ready for the first Adept, and he can kind of bully it away from his command center, I believe. Okay, this could work. He's also using the half hit point SCV pig. Yeah, yes he is. 1 shot from an Adept to finish that SCV. Could go down there and repair it. He's going to play 3 racks behind this. Ooh, we don't see a lot of 3 racks off reactor first these days, but he's got plenty of time to get 4 Marines out, ready in time to deal with the Adept. Stalker comes out behind. Twilight Council will go up next. You can see Clem's very behind on his... well, he's not that far behind on his gas count. Twilight Council goes down, rallies probes to the natural. He's being very safe here with his probes because he was like, oh, Reaper could come in, but now he realizes, hey, there's no Reaper yet. There's probably no Reaper at all. And he's looking for the ambushes beyond. Ooh, Clem reacts slowly. Already losing hit points. 11 hit points off that Adept. Really nicely done. That SCV, I would stop to repair this because I think that Adept could have come in, killed the SCV, and then ran around and shaded out before the Marines got back there. But good play on both sides. BYUN here. Hiding from the shade. I think that Adept could commit in, man. I would absolutely go for those SCVs. I would not be able to resist if he gives me that much room. And even if I just get 1 SCV for the Adept, I'd probably take it. Just being the greedy boy that I am. Ooh, takes a lot of damage there, though. You don't know when extra Marines are going to pop out, so this is really, really greedy. My sound is really messed up. Is it the same for anyone else? You guys let me know if so. Sometimes I I think they've actually, OBS has fixed their application audio issue, because we used to regularly have to kind of just unplug my audio, plug it back in. But haven't had to do that for a while, so they might have actually fixed that in the more recent versions. Oh, this Adept gets 2 SCVs, and yeah, a little bit sloppy leaving those SCVs so damaged and no Marines on top of it. I mean, he could have left 3 Marines in the bunker, 3 back here, but Like I said, he'd already left the opportunity for these SCVs to get sniped multiple times. And I do think it's just a bit greedy overall for BYUN. But Marauder's coming in, stim and shields. He's not gone early engineering bay. He's still on 1 gas. Normally at 4 minutes, you take second and third gas with a 3 Rex. Unless you're a crazy person. We know BYUN's a little bit crazy. Just how crazy is he? Well, crazy enough to get the Adept Snipe, which is great. It is, of course, a 3-gate blink, but BYUN has no idea about that. Got Marauders coming out pretty heavily. Oh, 1 gas, all in, baby. BYUN's going to go for a 3x pressure. And if he doesn't find a good fight, he'll just chill with it, because this man is not going to have any Medicare. No healthcare. Oh, no. And a Phoenix scouts it instantly. You're kidding me. He sees 1 gas, 4th and 5th barracks. All you need to do as CLEM is survive. And the question is, does he feel he can get splash damage up in time? Or does he just go Mass Stalker Zealot Immortal? I think you have to go Mass Stalker Zealot Immortal. But he doesn't have charge ready. He's only got 6 Stalkers and 1 Sentry. And the Sentry's coming forward, which is very dangerous. Observer goes down. Nice move there for BYUN to remove CLEM's vision across the grass. Really well done. And the army's just hanging. The SCVs are being pulled. It's go time. Doesn't stim yet. Really. Oh, now he does. I was going to say good patience. He should probably hold off on stimming for a while. Guardian Shield comes in early. There's batteries there. Immortal's about to pop out. Probe's going to go forwards. That battery gets depowered. Probe's pulled into stim. Bio never feels good. He's got to try and kite this out and bait BYUN's stims, because BYUN's stims are unhealable. Every stim is irrecoverable. The SCVs are almost gone. Clem's doing a pretty good job of microing away. He's just got to survive, does Clem. He's trying to focus. Oh, the Immortal doesn't focus the Marauders, which is a big missed opportunity. Stalkers in the back, dealing with these Marines, though. And I think Clem holds on well enough, because he's got 3 Nexus. That's 14 worker kills versus 17. Blink Stalkers come out. Remember, there's no longevity to this army, but maybe he can wait in the bush and set up an ambush. Clem. Ooh, you gotta be careful, Clem. You know he's in that bush. And go, I love the way BYUN pulled back, baited him. So Clem thought, oh, you're not there. And then he got a bit closer. But Clem's blink control is good as well. Clem is probing up really hard right now, which might not be the right call. He needs to make sure he builds more units and always has Guardian Shield available. Guardian Shield is everything, especially with such damaged Stalkers. I think 1 Stalker went down there, right? He's lost 4 Stalkers in total this game. Good Stalker micro for Clem. Stim comes in yet again. The Sentry goes down, which means he will not have a Guardian Shield available. Ooh, he's got to blink away. There's so many Marauders. I like the blink to the high ground there. Problem is, that means your Robo is going to go down. And with no Robo, it's going to be hard to hang on. Trying to blink back. Probe's trying to pull forward as well. The Stalker's trying to battle this out, but more SCVs arrive. BYUN is completely all in here in game 3. He doesn't feel confident playing Clem in a macro game. He says, let's catch him off guard and go, go, go. He's ignoring the probes. He's focusing the Stalkers. That is the correct call. But it's still such an awkward spot with 5 damaged Marines and a handful of SCVs. I think Clem may have just barely survived here. Oh, can he tag him? Can he tag him? The Marauders coming in as well. The Stalkers try to come back down the ramp, but a Stalker goes down. SCVs are tanking. The Stalkers from the high ground doing so well. 22 SCVs for Terran, 37 for Protoss. Feels almost like he should pull the probes and recall them to the 3rd base, which does, by the way, have a little bit of mining going on it right now. The Stalker micro non-stop. This is not the situation you really want to fight the best micro player in the world in. But Clem! What the hell? He stopped blinking for a moment there. What happened? What happened? Clem stopped blinking for a moment, lost a bunch of Stalkers. All the Marauders, I mean, I know he was focus firing, so maybe he was just saying, I'll kill you rather than run away, but he loses a lot of Stalkers there. And that maybe gives BYUN a second lease on life. The Marine Marauder coming forward, the SCVs as well. Dude, what is going on lately? The Marine Marauder's trying to get after these probes. He's going to take out a bunch of them on this right side. Oh, but the Stalkers, the battery's tanking so much. There's just so little firepower for Protoss. 31 probes to 20. The Stalkers coming out. Whenever you get like this is where the Stalkers get near unlimited pickoffs. 5 Stalkers are available. 3rd base has been chronoing probes this whole time. Stalkers trying to still hang out and do what they can. He's got to keep blinking back to dodge these projectiles, does Mr. Clement. But BYUN all over it. He says, I've denied your mining on your 3rd and your natural. I'm still dropping mules. I'm still rebuilding some SCVs here and there. He's got to be careful because that Reddit point Marauder will go down. Stalkers get an easy pick off on that. The other Marauder's very heavily damaged, and those are the anti-Stalker unit here. Clem has 6 Stalkers and 1 Zealot. Remember, there is no charge in this game, so the Zealot is a tank. He's not really going to do any damage. He'll probably die before he gets into melee. Stalkers, it's all about blinking away and letting the Terran kill himself. Guardian Shield comes in. Brilliant Guardian Shield, and BYUN has to run away. And that's the power of Guardian Shield. He just can't fight into it, man. Guardian Shield's so good against this. And CLEM, he's still up 5 probes. He's 3-based at 2. He's trying to build more workers, but he's got this grass. The way BYUN's arse, maybe grass, some would say, but I think actually the grass is saving his arse. The Stalker's coming forward. The Marauder's getting focused. CLEM trying to bully him from behind the grass. Crazy move for CLEM. CLEM, he just got back in control of this game and he throws all of his Stalkers away immediately. CLEM just cannot keep it in his pants. I'm telling you, man. There are so many Stalkers that are like, me too, man, me too. CLEM friggin' treated us with savagery, disregard for our lives. Stalker lives, friggin', they're really important. They're very valuable. They're 200 resources almost a pop. They're so expensive. But CLEM, panicking here under pressure. BYUN has raised the adrenaline of this game. And as a result, he's getting more mistakes out of CLEM than we normally expect. Now he does the 2-pronged Stalker micro, which is just excellent. Oh, the rally gets him, though. It would have been a lovely surround for CLEM, but he does blink back into the rallying Marauders. Stop chasing into the grass, mate. You got to chill, CLEM. You got to stop chasing into the grass. CLEM just can't fucking contain himself, can he, guys? He can't. He can't stop. He just is like, no. My name is CLEM and I like to fight. That's like the fucking 3rd time he's chased into the bush. This is... Dude, this is a sick match. But yeah, definitely some mistakes in this series from CLEM. I mean, I like that BYUN's dragged him down to his level to a certain extent. But oh my god, he blinks forward again. Oh, I mean, it's always good to try and surprise your opponent with a quick SCV pull. You can see how hard it is for CLEM to survive this game. But even though BYUN's winning this game now as he goes factory, +1 weapons, Marine, Marauder, I do look at this build order-wise as a success for CLEM. You know, good use of Guardian Shield, good blink micro early, but he's just chased him into the bushes like 3 times in a row and thrown all of his Stalkers away. Not to mention that time here where he just stopped blinking for like 5 seconds in the middle of an absolutely crucial engagement. I think definitely BYUN's looking good and he's playing exciting games, guys, and he's got that clutch it factor that allows him to win games that he probably shouldn't be winning. But yeah, definitely nothing too crazy. I mean, I like the mix-up of this build in this game. It's just unfortunate that CLEM happened to scout it right at that moment. And you might be confused, but isn't BYUN winning, Pig? He is. He's got this in the bag, guys. He's got this in the bag. I don't think he can throw from here. He's finally got a starport and a reactor building. He's going to catch a bunch of these Stalkers, and then I don't think he goes for the win. I think he just goes home and heals, because this is so much value, and pushing forward with this is the sort of insane decision that only BYUN or CLEM would do right now. There is no reason to risk such valuable units' lives. He uses another stim. Oh, my lord. Dude, is he going to throw away like a 2,000 resources of bio rather than going home to heal? I mean, he's getting a bunch more Stalkers, but this is so ridiculous of a decision. To go forward there was absolute nonsense. That was a really bad decision for BYUN. This is the sort of sloppy StarCraft I enjoy, because it's you know, even the gods make bad decisions, make big mistakes. That's StarCraft, baby. It's so fast-paced. It's so hard to keep up with the best players in the world, but that was a disastrous trade. To not go, even stimming to chase these Stalkers, I was like, oh, it's a little questionable, but as long as he goes home, waits for the Metavax, heals them, and then like just macros for 2 minutes, he'll be in a good spot. This base should lift out, maybe? He's a bit too low on gas. That's why he doesn't want to lift out just yet. But he should maybe think about lifting this to his 4th base a little bit later. Let me transfer over to that 3rd already. And those first 2 Metavacs. Finally, the first healthcare on the field, 12.5 minutes. That final trade was so bad for BYUN. I can't believe he stayed there. Very wild. You can kind of see there's these moments where when the Stalkers don't have blink and there's an overpowering amount of bio on them, they just get shredded down. But there's also moments where the bio's overextended, overstimmed, and the Stalkers are kind of there with their blinks ready, fighting at arm's length and able to blink back and dodge Marauder shots and stuff. And that's where the bio really struggles. Oh, I like the focus on the sentry there. Really good micro by BYUN. He's going to stim forward one more time. Whenever the probes pull forward, he runs away. Whenever the probes run back, he runs forwards. So he says, I'm going to focus your Stalker sentry. And at that point, he goes to the right side because the probes were off to the left. So by moving to the right, his units were automatically going to target the Stalkers. BYUN gets a win in an action-packed barn burner of the series. A very fun action-packed one. Cool to see both players kind of making mistakes, slipping up a little bit under pressure. GG, well played. In the bottom right, you can see what he's selecting in real time, and you can see he keeps clicking the Stalker and trying to blink, but it dies before he can blink it. Remember, they're both playing cross-server since it's Europe versus Korea, so he's essentially just clicking the Stalkers like a fraction of a second too late. So each time he tries to do blink click, it doesn't work because the Stalker's died by the time he gives the command, or at least by the time the server gets the command. So he there did a series of like blink back at the last second micros that were all just a second too late, because you could see him select a Stalker, it died, select a Stalker, it died, select a Stalker, it died. So he was going click, blink, click, click, blink, click, click, blink, click. And in his game, he may have seen himself give all of those commands before the Stalkers died, but when you're playing with lag, you need to give those orders earlier. You cannot give those orders at the very last second. So if you want to blink a Stalker when it's on red at point life, you need to blink it like, you know, when it's on quite a bit higher life. If you want to dodge the Marauder shot, you need to blink the moment the Marauder starts shooting, not when the projectile's about to hit you, essentially. and that's what went wrong. Still chasing into the bush was obviously just a big mistake for Clem. I think his adrenaline was a bit too high, and he just made some classic overly aggressive Clem decisions where he thought, oh, you know, if I can just chase you back to the middle of the map, I can have more room to micro backwards with blink. But this forward bush actually really was integral. It was absolutely crucial in BYUN's victory in this game. Sick match, man. Really cool.